there, warm welcome. You're watching Blueprint Exclusive and I'm Meghna Deka. Well, viewers, this is a story of VVIP racism. The story of the agony of an army veteran who waited for over 2 decades and is yet to get what he deserves and what he paid for. It's just a piece of land that he was expected to receive from the Mysuru Urban Development Authority, but over 20 years have passed. He's paid for it, but he's yet to receive it. The reason? Well, the Muda claims that he had pending dues of 21,000 rupees, which was ultimately paid off, but was too late. But this is not just a story about one army veteran. Today, we are putting the focus on how the Chief Minister, Siddaramaiah, someone who's named and accused in the alleged Muda case scam, is allegedly being favoured, but not an army veteran who had served the nation. So there's preference given to the sitting Chief Minister, but not to an army veteran. Is this Congress's Jai Jawan, Jai Samvidhan model? Well, here's the story of an army veteran who was literally left in the lurch by the Congress Sarkar.
An anxious veteran waiting for his land, a place to call his home after years of service to the nation. And on the other side, the Chief Minister, an accused, an alleged beneficiary of the Muda scam. It's a story of contrast. Meet retired Lieutenant General BNBM Prasad, a celebrated war hero who has been forced to run from pillar to post for his land in Karnataka. Retired Lieutenant General BNBM Prasad was allotted land in 2001 under the ex-serviceman category. He was given a 60-40 plot by the Mysuru Urban Development Authority in a salute to his stellar service by the government. Cut to 2024, the dream of having a house of his own in his own hometown still remains an unfulfilled dream. The Muda is yet to execute and register a sale deed 23 years after the land was first handed over to him. The reason, he was told? That a little over 21,000 rupees is pending in dues. But does that mean that he can pay the fee now and get his share of land? No. The Muda has informed the veteran that there is no provision for accepting belated payment in the extent rules, and therefore his prayer for execution of sale deed has been negated. The devastated veteran appealed to the government multiple times. He even approached the government agencies, and finally a knock at the High Court's door answered his fervent pleas. The court has now finally given a judgment in his favour. The court, after listening to his pleas, has asked Muda to execute the sale deed at the earliest, asking the government to even pay compensation for the delay. It's a big vindication for the veteran, but it has come at a heavy price.
Sir, congratulations first of all. A long battle. You got the site now.
Thank you very much. I am grateful to the Times Group for bringing to the light of the public about the injustice which is being meted out to a veteran and to a soldier. As I told you, who is a soldier? It doesn't matter what rank you hold, but what matters is a soldier. A soldier is one who dedicates his life for the nation. For him, the nation comes first, always and every time. It is his honor. And that honor has been compromised by the behavior, by the attitude of the Muda. I have to run from pillar to post. I literally have to knock down various courts. And finally, I'm grateful to the bench headed by Justice Krishna Joyce and also Justice Basavaraj, who actually gave justice to me. And I have got complete faith in the judiciary, and judiciary helped me.
So how do you feel when you hear the news that the Muda Commissioner himself selected the site for the Chief Minister's family and for some powerful people, politicians, where in your case, someone who has served the country and who legally went to it and asked for it, had to run around pillar for 25 years?
What I can say, he is not worth of his care. He did not do what he's supposed to do. He is expected to be above all these things. petty things. He should not have. He should have taken a leaf from the lives of our veterans or our serving people who sacrifice everything for the sake of the country. So he has brought down the image of that very institution.
The BJP has pointed out the cruel irony. While on one hand is the veteran waiting for justice, on the other hand is Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. The Muda has been at the centre of the high-profile case for allotting 14 sites in an upmarket locality in Mysuru to Siddaramaiah's wife, Parvati. While she has now returned the site, the ED trouble for Siddaramaiah continues.
What kind of a system is this? The person who has served India, the people who are ready to give up their life for the sake of motherland, they are not respected, but the chelas of politicians, the followers of the Congress leaders, they are getting benefited in the name of Muda. Siddaramaiah can get a benefit, Bhairathi Suresh can get a benefit, Congress leaders can get a benefit, Roshan Papanna get benefited. But an ex-serviceman who served his life for the sake of motherland will not get benefit. Where is this? What is happening in Karnataka? Mr. Siddaramaiah should answer this.
With the BJP often calling the Congress supportive of the Tukde gang while letting the veterans suffer, the Congress party has hit back at the BJP, alleging that there may have been procedural delays, but asking what was the BJP doing when it had its own government in power in Karnataka.
Yes, it has come to our notice that ex-army man, due to some procedural issues, he could not get his site because he had paid lesser the amount than which was fixed for him to buy the site. Having said that, I want to remind my BJP friends that this is happening from the year 2000 and up till now you were in power for more than 10 years. Why didn't you honor that Kargil hero? Why did you create a situation where he had to go to courts and fight for his right in the courts? So BJP should be ashamed, their government should be ashamed of this. And when they say quick, Muda is quick about allotting sites, the same BJP government which brought in 50-50 scheme, which led to all these disasters, should not they be held responsible? Should not they be ashamed of themselves? So this is all created, the Muda mess is created by the BJP.
Well, let me go across to Deepak Bopanna, who's joining us live from Bengaluru. Deepak, you must contrast the two separate tales and the two separate experiences with Muda, because it's important. After the High Court had stepped in, that Times Now also puts in sharp contrast the way an army veteran, a lieutenant general, was treated by Muda as opposed to how a sitting chief minister and his kin were. Over to you.
Well, Meghna, definitely when you see these instances, it's a clear-cut example of how, when you are politically connected, how the government machinery, institutions, of course, that report to the government and bodies like the Muda operate with such pace. And when it comes to anybody else, the common man, including in this particular case a war veteran, his struggle to deal with these sort of institutions is something that will probably last a lifetime. In this case as well, we are looking at, nearly 2 or over 2 decades, where this individual, of course, has waited for a plot which he's already paid for. Yes, if there was a shortage of some sort of payment that needed to be done, it should have been effectively communicated, and when he was of course ready to pay that as well, then they say that we don't take payments which have been delayed. So various reasons to just not allocate a site or execute a sale deed in favor of a war veteran or hero really who should be celebrated. Now politically, of course, the BJP is taking pot shots. They are saying that, well, while Mr. Siddaramaiah or his family is getting the plots in such quick time, why is it not happening to a war hero? The Congress is hitting back, saying that this is not a matter that dates back only to the Congress period. The BJP has been in power. They could have, in fact, had the Muda to, give the land. So at the end of the day, the political blame game continues. But the issue, of course, it's the courts that finally had to intervene and give justice to the war veteran here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Deepak, for putting the two tales in contrast. Is this how we treat our veterans? That's the question. Thank you so much, Deepak, for getting this story to life. Much needed. In fact, let me go across to our panelists now. We have Dr. Narendra Rangappa, who's joining us, spokesperson of the BJP. Syed Aslam Pasha is also joining us, a political analyst. Syed Aslam Pasha, I'm going to start by reading out what the High Court has said. The Karnataka High Court has said it is not that if there was a delay, interest can be levied or not, if there was any kind of delay, but the fact that the Muda has treated with scant respect and scant regard a defence personnel of the kind who has put a long and spotless career service of over 3 decades in guarding the frontiers of the nation. Is this how the Jai Jawan, the Jai Samvidhan chants of the Congress party are going to be carried out in the state of Karnataka, ruled by the Congress?
Well, absolutely not. We completely honor the statement which is given by the court. Certainly, the war veteran should not be treated like this. He should be treated with more respect. And of course, it is observed that there have been procedural lapses, and of course, due to which there is a delay. And of course, it has to be investigated where the delay is from, why the delays, and the responsible people have to be certainly taken to task. But having said that, I just fail to understand the BJP acting holier than thou.
We'll just come to the BJP in just a sec. Syed Aslam Pasha, you said it's important that we look into where the delays happened from the part of the Muda. Should we also not be looking at how it was so very swift, where you had the chief of the Muda going and hand-picking plots for the chief minister's family? What about that duplicity? It's not just that the army veteran has been denied his due, but also the contrast that we have drawn there. Would you answer on that?
When I said there is a lapse and there's a delay and the procedural lapse.
Well, there seems to be a lapse in the video audio link as well. Well, unfortunately, we'll have to get that fixed. Till then, let me go across to Dr. Narendra Rangappa. Just before he got disconnected, however, the questions, of course, are going to be asked of the BJP also. Yes, it's wrong that you had to have the High Court to come up and wrap the Muda to force an army veteran to get what's due. But for 20 years, even the BJP was in power. Why didn't the BJP do anything about him? This man has been running from pillar to post.
See, it's very unfortunate that such an incident has occurred. But let me remind you that this process started in 2000-2001. Who was in power? SM Krishna Congress, followed by the Dharam Singh government. Then again, for a brief period, Kumar Swamy was leading the government. Again, in 2013, the Congress came to power. Again, Mr. Siddaramaiah came to power in 2018. See, by that time...
After that? You can't stop at 2018.
I'm coming to that. By the time it came to the BJP government, the case had reached the High Court. So High Court had to decide. But the crux of the matter...
If it had come to the BJP government, you are saying that you would have done it. If the High Court hadn't done it, you had the entire tenure of Chief Minister BSY to actually have done something for this veteran.
When it is sub judice and it is not put up to the government cannot act like that.
But every party will say the same. Even now, Siddaramaiah's government will say...
The majority of the period between 2001 to 2003, it was Congress who was in power, not BJP.
If you had forced them to allot the case, allot the plot, they would have withdrawn the case.
If it was represented to the government of BJP, we would have done it. It was not represented to the BJP.
So the Congress will say the same. He didn't come to us, he went to the court. The fact that... Okay, Syed Aslam Pasha, do you buy that? They are saying that it was sub judice, so BJP is not at fault, but the Congress is.
No, I'm not too sure. I'm speaking the BJP spokesperson for the first time on TV. Glad to see him on TV. But the gentleman, what he's speaking is, if the cat closes its eyes and sips into the milk, the cat will think that the entire world is not seeing.
Stories.
The cat is not seeing the entire world. Sir, being in the government, sir,
what was your government doing? What were your
responsibility? As Congress is responsible, yes, as Congress is responsible, okay, if there's a wrong allotment, you also have been in power from last 2001.
Do you concede that it was wrong
to 2025.
on that part? In fact, Syed Aslam Pasha, Do you concede that the Congress government was in the wrong? Was in the wrong not now but for successive governments in the past? Can I have you concede that?
I want to make a very
That's a yes or
clear
no question.
statement here. No, I will answer. I mean, there's nothing
You
yes
didn't
or no
answer.
when we sit in a debate. When there is nothing called as yes or no in a debate. What I'm saying is, of course, all the three governments, all the three major political parties who have been in the government
20 years.
from the last,
Both the parties that both of you are supporting were in power. Why did this veteran have to go to the courts in the first place?
If you give me 30 uninterrupted seconds,
30 seconds. You get 30 seconds. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is, from the year 2001, from the last 24 years, whichever government have been in power, it becomes their moral responsibility to ensure that if the allotment has not happened in the right way...
Not just moral, it's legal responsibility. If you see what the court has said...
Not moral. Definitely not moral.
Not
Definitely
moral.
not moral.
It's legal responsibility. The courts have today stepped in. They've made it very clear. Dr. Rangappa, I'll give you closing comments. Doctor, I've given you 30 seconds. Permit him the same. Dr. Rangappa.
The Congress government is a habitual offender in Muda cases, which happens to be the hometown of Mr. Siddaramaiah. Mr. Siddaramaiah has illegally allotted 882 sites to his followers, relatives and wives. He doesn't have any concern for anybody else. This is classical Siddaramaiah, who is...
And this perhaps is the best case which portrays what happened when you have money, when you have power, you get a red carpet. When you have medals on your chest, when you put your life at risk to save the country, unfortunately, you are being shunted out so that those in power can cater to others who have formed the Sarkar. The unfortunate controversy which has now come to light in Karnataka. Of course, now the steps have called and force this veteran to be given his dues. Thank you so much, Dr. Nagendra Rangappa, for joining us here on the show, as well as Syed Aslam Pasha. Without a short break.